been walking with my face turned to the sun. Weight on my shoulder.
Shalom, my brothers and sisters. It is 4 o'clock in the morning. I finally decided to do this video. Took me some time. I had a lot of things going on in my life, but I'm finally ready to share. And today's video is basically going to be a testimony to be relatable to my brothers and sisters. So I'm going to begin and start off with how I became woke. So basically, how I became woke was like it was scare. It was like a scare kind of experience. Your girl was doing a lot of things that you could say that a father would not want his daughter doing. I was, misbehaving and acting out in such ways, especially after the coronavirus situation, the pandemic happened. I kind of like lost my job at that time. So in my mindset, I was on like making money and I didn't care how I was going to get it or which way we was going to, get the money, chasing the bag. You know what I'm trying to say. I was chasing the bag. So basically, during that experience, I am highly intuitive and I have a high conscience. I was raised by two wonderful parents, so I know from right from wrong from the start. But basically, during this time, when I'm like out hustling, making money, the way I think is right, I would go home and I would like feel like this energy, like a presence around me, and I wasn't so much afraid of the presence. It was more like noticeable. I couldn't ignore the presence uh, while I was like trying to go to sleep and such. So um, basically, when I started hearing this noise, this energy that was around me, it brought me back to familiar times. See, this was not the first time that I experienced this kind of like presence. So going back, probably about 3 years ago, I had made a choice in life to pack up my stuff and move to Arkansas. So that's what I did. And when I first visited Arkansas, I had a partner at that time, and I spent a couple of days out there and I had a dream. See, this dream was super spooky. It was like I was like in this huge house, and in this house it was like dark rooms and stuff, but I specifically remember seeing like this blue entity that was like hiding amongst the shadows, and it wasn't like doing anything towards me, but I just noticed that it wasn't a friendly thing. And I don't know, like Arkansas, like knowing the history in the background, maybe I could have been picking up off of things that happened in the past years, or I was sleeping in his passed away grandmother's home. So I could have been just picking up on anything in that house. But I remember that dream, and I should have kind of took it as a warning, but I didn't, and I continued on the move to Arkansas. And once I moved there, that's when I started hearing this white noise. So let me describe this white noise to you. It's like when you got the TV, or the TV is on but it's on mute, but you can hear the TV on. So that's like basically the noise that I could hear around me, but the TV is not on. You understand? So it's like I could hear energy around me. Now, at the time, I gave it an excuse. Like it was the first time I ever took a plane out there, so I thought like maybe my ear was messed up, So I gave it an excuse. Uh, Going past that, remembering that energy and living now and day, I realized, this is something that I'm doing to myself, a negative impact that I'm putting on myself. I feel like maybe this energy could be like a warning or whatever it is. But basically, when I first started hearing these noises, like, it wasn't so like demanding on its presence. It was just there, and I could ignore it. But this time around, man, the things I was doing, I guess it was not playing with me because I could hear it literally hovering over my head. Like at this point, I'm frightened. This energy noise, it's frightening to me. Like I just like, okay, now I can't ignore this. It's obviously real. Like I'm not imagining this. I haven't took a plane in many years, so I know it's not a ear problem. But I went in the shower and I just took a shower and try to, help myself go back to sleep. And I just started pouring out crying. Like I just started crying. And at that point, I broke down to God and I just started, telling him that I'm sorry and, telling him that I want to change my ways and I don't want to live like this anymore. Money is money. I don't need it that badly to be feeling the way I'm feeling. So that presence was like a big warning. So after that, literally the next day, I just started like looking for ways to like kind of like cleanse my energy. Like on my background, my family's super spiritual, so we believe in sage and prayers and stuff. So I got deep into it. I decided to look on meditation to like clear my mind so I could have some silence at nighttime because I was afraid to listen to silence because I could hear it. So I would like listen to my meditation at nighttime, and then I eventually started reading the Bible to find some inspirational quotes and stuff, but I started finding much more than that. And then, I started getting up on my affirmations in the morning time, saying more positive things to me. Also, I completely stopped what I was doing cold turkey. I just like completely quit how I was making my money, and I just like trust in God. I let go and let God, and I pretty much was fine after that. Like, as in like, um, I was accepting on letting go of that past. I thought like I would have a harder time letting go because the money was good, etc. But God had me. He allowed me to move past that type of negative realm of energy. So about 3 weeks straight, I'm like meditating and everything, and I just like get this sudden feeling like I don't hear the noise anymore. Like I subconsciously forgot. Like I subconsciously forgot that I was experiencing that during the time. So when I had thought about it again, like when I started, reminiscing and such, like I'm proud of how I am. My friends was also noticing the change in me. They started telling me like, oh, Quisha, yeah, that's what my close friends call me, Quisha. I could see that you changing. You saying a lot of positive things, and you want to do some positive things in the future and stuff. Like, they were just letting me know, like they see good things and stuff, and I just was like, yeah, I am. Changing more. Like these meditations, affirmations is actually working. Like the power of the mind is so beautiful because it just like brought in a whole new realm of peace for me that I needed, including the action. Because a lot of the times, us as people will do things and then we'll forget to apply it into our lives. So basically that was like a testimony of experience that God was here for me. And a scripture that spoke out to me so much when I was going through that was it's James chapter 1 verses 12, and it says some people continue to trust God even when troubles happen. God will bless these people if they show that they really trust him. He will give them the gift, which is life. When with him he has promised to give this gift to all people who love him. And at that moment, when I was super down and low, like I called on God. Like I just called on him and asked him to please help me because I didn't know anything else. Like my natural instinct was to call on my Father in heaven. And right then and there, he saved me. He saved me from the life that I was putting myself in, and he brought me up into a new life and a new beginning. And I have much confirmation that the Lord is blessing me wonderfully, new love. And all me and my friends are in great in sync love. Like, we're all having great relationships with each other. We're all talking to each other and motivating each other as sisters. It's just like, it's like a lot of positivity, and these affirmations also have a lot to do with that. So I also, like, when I got deep into the Bible and etc. And I want to clarify that it's not the religion I'm being uh, drawn into. It's the actual words in the Bible that is uplifting. Like, when you read, our people must realize not to take God's words into so much literal context, because he speaks in plain English. In the version that I read in easy English, because I can't do the fifth would, like, thoueth and speaketh, and I don't know what they talk about. So I listen to the basic English version, and it's simple for us to understand God's message, and the fact that he's so repetitive, because he knows our children. As you teach your toddler to repeatedly do something, you're gonna get it. And the Bible, it does that. It speaks repeatedly on things of how to love each other and be kind to each other, like simple things like that. Like, I take I take it into notes into my current life, and prayers that I started, like, morning prayers and night prayers, joining in with my children. My son, he's 7, and he already knows that Our Father prayer. So it's really, really vital for you to just say these prayers every day, and they're simple enough to just apply in your life and watch the changes happen for you. So the prayers that Our Father is in the Bible, where you could go ahead and practice on your own. Matthew chapter 6 verse 9, and the Lord is my shepherd, which is Psalms 23 verses 1. So we basically do the Lord is my shepherd at nighttime and Our Father in the morning, or we'll vice versa, change it up. These prayers are good for them to know it when they become adults, because sadly, when times get tough, we forget who our God is. We forget who our Creator is, and we just, like, live in our selfish ways. Not consciously, but we do decide to live the ways that we make ourselves happy, instead of allowing God to, control the life that we have right now. So it's best to know these prayers, so in the future it'll come back to you. Because I learned the verse, the Lord is my shepherd, at the age 12, when my mom was heavily in church, and I never forgot that prayer. So God is good. It is worth it. Apply it to your life. Everything you do, apply it. Now, another thing I want to be vocal on: when doing prayers, we tend to ask God lots of things. We want answers, and it's perfectly fine, because in the Bible it speaks many times that that's what Jesus and his followers do. They teach and they answer multiple questions. So as you asking God these questions through prayer, I highly recommend that you meditate in silence, in peaceful silence, as long as you can. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, it doesn't matter. It's up to you to meditate, please, and just listen. I highly recommend that you just listen, because God is going to answer you. He may not answer you like this, but he will. And in some cases, depending on how strongly you need these answers, God will answer you in a tone of voice that may be your own, or maybe the tone of your child, or your grandmother, or the mother, or your father. It could be any tone. You understand? And sometimes it's not even by a vocal message. You'll see it in your life. Like, he'll show you through another person or someone around you. Just little signs that you should be aware of. As you start meditating, you definitely become more focused on your surroundings and the people that are around you, because it's important to love thy neighbors. All right. So just another beautiful note that God is always on time. For every 1,000 years, it's one day in heaven. Do you understand? Every 1,000 years is one day in heaven. So that means God is always on time, baby. He is just working. He don't want to overwhelm you with all the blessings he want to give you, because he don't want to trip you up. He don't want to have you fall. So he's going to give it to you as you need it. And you stay in faith, and you keep your spirit up, and you love your brothers and sisters, help them out. You see them on the streets, help them. You speak, say hello, good morning, good afternoon, keep it walking. Don't have to be a whole bunch of talking. You just be kind to one another. Be that positivity. Don't just talk about it. Live it. Become it. This is my what we call testimony today. And thank you guys for having me. So happy to do this YouTube video. I'll be posting out more, keeping in contact with you guys more. Again, this is a community. Stay tuned for my next videos. We'll speak more on how we can center ourselves and be the best us that we can be. God bless you, and stay tuned. Please subscribe, share, hit that notification button so you can see more current videos when I upload them. Be the first to be notified. Like it, comment below, show your girl some love, okay? Shalom, my brothers and sisters, and until next time.